Baldur's Gate 3 has been in early access for almost 2 years, which is pretty long for early access. And while it's gotten plenty of patches and love from the development team, and maybe kind of revolutionizing how early access should be done with this constant flow of updates and keep up with the community, it's still quite a while, and people are starting to wonder when is the game coming out. And while that answer might be hard to find unless you're working directly there, and even then, you can't know for sure, it's fairly easy to estimate when the game is going to come out. We can do this by trying to find out what is the sooner it could come out and what is the later it would come out, and then kind of refining this guess and reducing the gap between those two times, giving us a pretty good estimate on the release date. So let's get into it. Well, to begin, we know for a fact that it won't be a 2022 release for a few reasons. The first one is that there just isn't enough time. From the moment they announce the release date, they need about 6 months to make sure the game is polished enough, build a hype around it for marketing wise, and on top of that, it really helps to manage expectations in case there is any problems. If you don't give yourself enough time, enough leeway, and there are complications, well, you just end up becoming the new Cyberpunk, which no company wants to be. Some might say we could be looking at Q4 2022 or Q1 2023. This means around winter, around like January and stuff like that, but it wouldn't make much sense because there's a few systems that they just introduced to the public, and those systems still need a little bit of work and feedback on them. Systems like character customization, Swarm AI, which makes the game smoother during combats, and new classes, obviously, which they don't have fully put into the game. This includes reaction time that might need to be changed for the paladin classes and stuff like that, right? So thinking of the winter is kind of unreasonable just because of how much work there's left in the game. With that uptick, we can assume the game will release after the second quarter of 2023. This means like after June. And this would make a lot of sense, right? It would coincide with a lot of the summer hype for games, a lot of the game expos that are around this time. So announcing it around January or February and then releasing it at that time, around like July or August, would be really good for a marketing point of view. Now, obviously, if the game isn't done by then, that's totally fine, right? Because we want the game to be good, we don't want it to be released just to say it's released. But in my opinion, if the game isn't ready by the summer of 2023, which would be the best time to put it out, in my humble opinion, I'm sure they'll try to push it for an October of 2023. This would coincide with the 3rd anniversary of the early access, both making sure people aren't mad about it taking so long and pushing the marketing a little bit for free points, right? If they wait any longer than that, let's say for winter of 2023/2024, this might be a little bit scary for the higher ups, because that means the game has been in early access for a very, very long time. And that's totally fine, don't get me wrong. I don't want the game to be rushed. I'm just being realistic with you here. A lot of higher ups just don't like that kind of thing, right? So my guess is October of 2023. If the game isn't ready by summer, and I'm assuming it might not because there's still a lot of things to adjust and everything and some leeway. I might be wrong though, but if I was working with Larian on the marketing side of things, this is exactly the deadline I would try to push on them, to give them at the very least, to manage their expectations and to see how fast the project can get there, right? It just makes the most sense to me. Obviously, we want the game to be good, even if it needs to be pushed back by another year, I wouldn't mind. But no one can truly know when this is going to be ready if they're not working with Larian, obviously. However, the director of Larian said in the last panel from Hell, which is those things they're doing for big patches in the game, he said that the game is almost in the polishing stage of the development. There are a few things to add to the game, but they're almost done adding new stuff, and when they're done adding new stuff, they'll focus on making the game as good as they can, as smooth and as polished. So I'm assuming summer or October of 2023. But that's only my opinion. What do you guys think of this timeline? Do you think it's reasonable? Do you think they might need more times? Maybe I'm a little bit too harsh on them. Maybe I don't understand enough how much time is still left to put into the game. Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you watched the whole video, make sure to subscribe. It always helps the channel. It helps me. With that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.